Hi, this is Robert Proctor with MyMLM and MultiSoft Corporation. I'm here with my good friend today, Ray Higdon. We're going to do a little bit of back and forth interview questions and get an insider's input on launching a network marketing company, and really from an owner's perspective is some questions I'm going to ask you. What owners need to understand in order to build a successful and thriving network marketing company?
Awesome.
Okay. So first question I've got, and I'm going to do a hard hit. You just retired after 6 years. Becoming $1 million earner in your last company.
Yeah.
Do network marketing owners need to be concerned that their distributors are going to leave when they become successful? And when they do become successful, what happens to that position that you had? Where does it go? How does it get worked? How does it continue to grow and thrive?
Man, that is a tough question. Jeez, you don't play softball. All right, so yes, it's true. In our last company, my wife and I were the number one income earners. Did do over $1 million in commissions in that company, and I think we were like of that company, we were I think like 75% of the whole company. We built both legs. We didn't get spillover or anything like that. And along the way, I kind of found that my passion is in teaching at the network marketing profession level. And although I love team building, working with leaders, and prospecting, recruiting, and all the things that encompass network marketing, I felt like my purpose was to focus more on the industry and profession as a whole. That is something that not a lot of people have done. There's not too many out there. You can look at someone like Eric Worre. One of my clients, Robert Hollis, has kind of gone that route as well. But you're talking about a handful of people. Most people that are successful inside network marketing tend to stay inside network marketing and not branch out and do their own trainings and things like that. So my advice to company owners in regards to that question would be the same advice I would give to a married couple, and that is, you want to create an environment that is so awesome that people never want to leave.
Got it.
And if they do, then you deal with it. And it's something that I didn't leave network marketing because the environment wasn't awesome. The environment was awesome, and I really enjoyed it. But I felt a higher calling and a different purpose for me in the training space. We work with right now I think we have $7 million a year earners as clients, and probably 20, 30 that are six-figure earners as clients, all different companies. And so for me, it was partially our focus being on coaching and training, and I wasn't spending enough time with the team. I actually, in my scenario, I sold my position to my upline, who's been my upline since 2009, that knows my team very well. So actually for my team, it's actually a win. It's a major win because they're going to get more focused attention because my upline was very focused on building the network marketing business, whereas my wife and I are more focused on our coaching and training business. So advice to owners, hey, it may happen. It doesn't happen very often for someone to become very successful and then start their own business, because it's a lot riskier starting your own business.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's much less risk to be a distributor.
Been there, done that.
And we have 7 employees and contractors that we work with. So it's a lot more risk to run your own business than to just be a network marketing distributor. So it doesn't happen that often. But you create an environment that you edify, you recognize, you love, you show just major appreciation for your leaders, and you're going to keep more of them than lose.
Got it. Great answer. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Here's another question. I read your blogs, and you talk about 5-6 years ago that you had joined 11 network marketing companies before you finally found success. What was different in those 10 or 11 companies that you joined that you didn't achieve success in versus the one that you did achieve success in, and what could a company owner take away from those 10 failures or those 10 lessons that you learned versus the one that you succeeded in?
I'd love to say it was the company's fault. I'd love to say, I had 11 bad companies and one really good one. No, that wasn't the case. The truth was, I hadn't invested enough in my education to really understand the profession of network marketing. I was a real estate investor that understood marketing, that understood mainly marketing,
Right.
and I didn't understand the culture significance of building a network marketing team. So I was, there were times where I was in like 3 different MLMs at the same time. I'm almost like the trench coat guy. Hey, you want this? You want this? How about this? Oh, you don't want this? And clearly that isn't the way to build a sustainable team. So I recruited people in every one of those companies that I can remember. Most of them. I think there was a couple that I struck out totally. But I never built something that lasted, because building a team is much more about culture than it is about recruiting, than it is about really anything else. I mean, it's so culture based. So I would say I succeeded when I was ready, and I wish I could give more. Hey, here's what that company did that specifically got me, succeeding. Honestly, I could have. I really feel no disrespect to those guys. I could have been selling, Doritos, and I would have sold the hell out of them. I was just ready for a massive change and ready to succeed.
I love what you say about marketing versus prospecting.
Yeah.
I've got 35 employees, and if you asked any of my employees what type of business we're in, they'd say we're in the MLM software business. That's not the business we're in.
Right.
I asked my sales guys what kind of business we're in. They'd say we're in the sales business. What we're in is the marketing business.
Yeah.
Because if we don't market, we don't generate leads. We don't generate leads. We don't make sales. We don't make sales. I don't need 35 employees to help us out. So it really is, this industry is all about marketing.
Yeah.
So thank you for that answer.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, another question for you. Again, I watch everything. I listen to everything. You've introduced me some great people.
Yeah.
I was listening to Todd's
1
hour tapes on the way over today.
Cool.
You talk a lot about ILT.
Yeah.
Invest, Learn, Teach.
Yeah.
I've actually for years used a little bit different acronym: educate, communicate, duplicate, and compensate. So we've kind of done the same thing.
Yeah.
So I understand you teach distributors ILT. What would you say to a company owner for them to understand how important ILT is for teaching their distributors about their products or their services? How would an owner use ILT?
Yeah, it's a great point. So ILT, like you said, is invest, learn, teach. So you invest your time and possibly money to learn something, then you teach it. Now, every entrepreneur, business owner, and network marketer that I know, that I'm connected to, they do the I and the L. So they invest their time and money into learning things. They buy courses, attend seminars, hire coaches, things of that nature. They learn things from those avenues. Most of them don't teach. Most of them don't share their notes or share some of the information that they're learning. The people that do are the ones that stand out. And there's a great book out there by Jason Fried, and I believe it's called it's either Rebrand or Regrow. I keep screwing that book up. But in it, he says, out-teach your competition. That's the gist, okay? So you want to know what company is going to have the best retention. It's the company that contributes the most education. It's the company that has the best culture, and culture is growing. What's most likely to have a child succeed? It's the parent that paid attention to them and helped them grow and helped them learn things. That's the child that is, certainly not guaranteed, but it is infinitely more likely to succeed and to have success throughout life. And so, as company owners, you can constantly be sharing educational value. And educational value isn't, hey, we're doing a buy one, get one sale today. That's not education. That's not value. That's sales pitch. Education may be, hey, you may not know the background of the doctor that created this particular product, but here's his background and here's why he created it. You see, his mom struggled with cancer, and he saw that. You know what I mean? Not that you would say cancer, right? But his mom struggled with a particular illness, and it made him focus on being that is actually value, because the reps that have already bought into your product and bought into your company vision, they're going to hear that, and that solidifies them. Then from there, maybe you study people like Tony Hsieh, the Zappos guy. Maybe you study Tony Robbins stuff, and you study what can you share on how to better communicate with people. Because yes, you're in a marketing business, you're in a marketing to people business. And so the better you can help your group, your culture, your tribe, your audience, your distributors learn how to better communicate, the more likely they're going to remember that you helped them, you taught them. And that's that's why you see educators like myself and yourself gain followings and gain people that want to go through their education and stick with them. So I just look at how can you add more value to your marketplace? How do you add more value to your tribe? Teach them things. Share with them things about culture, backgrounds of the product, why this was done, how come you had your vision, and share with them how to better communicate to people. And so, all about education.
Great answers. I really appreciate it. And
Thanks.
for the audience watching, if you like what you're hearing, share it, retweet it, repost it. Let me ask you another question. In 18 years, I've seen a huge change in technology. Like I said, back 18 years ago, we were just building replicated web pages.
Sure.
There was no e-commerce, there was no real-time everything. I think the biggest change that I've seen has come in the last probably 4 or 5 years, and that's social media and blogging.
Yep.
And those are the two things that you and I know, Jessica, are really experts. You're industry experts.
Thanks.
I mean, you're powerhouses when it comes to that. From an owner perspective, how has social media impacted businesses, and what distributors are out there using social media for, and how can owners use social media and blogging, really I hate to say it, to protect their brand, to protect the organization, because so many people can say so much out there. So what would you say to a business owner about using social media and blogging to help protect their brand and for the company?
Yeah, there's a lot of angles there.
Right.
First of all, if you are a successful company, and I don't know what level, I don't know if it's 5 million a year or 10 million, I don't know what it is, but if you're a successful company, you are going to have people talk negatively about you on social media and in blogs and on online content. That's just going to happen. And so you want to look at, number one, how can you create enough rich content that does, as a company owner, that does utilize your company name, that is going to show up in the front of Google. I know there's a lot of companies out there that when you Google, the company name, on the first couple, little slots, there's something negative.
Right.
Well, if a company took a proactive measure and said, okay, every day we're going to create a video or a blog post or a content that has our name in it somewhere, but is valuable, does actually share something that's valuable for people to listen to. It's not just a pitch, it's not just a not just a testimonial or something like that, but something of actual value. If they did that, it would be impossible for the dream stealers to, for the people that are negative about your company, it'd be impossible for them to rank, and hardly anyone would see it. There's a lot of people that were about to join a network marketing company until they Googled it, right? Once they Google it, they're like, no thanks. So that would be one reason. I'm not necessarily saying that's the main reason, but that's one reason. Number two, you want, if the company just says, hey distributors, do your best, okay? Well, people aren't turned off by network marketing, they're turned off by network marketers. Most network marketers do not understand marketing. They have the company name all over their personal profile, which as a company is fine. Mm-hmm. As a distributor, not fine. It's not a good idea, because you lose the power of real marketing, which is curiosity. I want to know, what company is Sally in? Oh, she's in that company. Oh, okay, I've heard of that, right? So as a company, you can actually help your distributors by being a company of value, by sharing education, by sharing why are you doing some of the things that you're doing, and sharing content that people actually want to consume and go through. And so those would be, in my opinion, the two biggest reasons. The other way would be recognition, recognizing people that, and most companies are pretty good at this at events. They're not good at it on social media. Most companies, not all. But recognizing people when someone hits that new rank, when that single mother in Utah recruits her first rep after being in for 6 years, applaud the hell out of that. Really recognize that. Why not search for what are things that we can recognize? And that shouldn't be 100% of your social media posts, but it should be a percentage. And you should look for those opportunities. What are those unique, the disabled veteran that just, got their product for free or something like that. You know what I mean? Look for those kind of examples. All of that helps the distributors as a whole and the company image.
Great, thank you. Appreciate the answer. Here's another question, and this kind of leads to the technology. Today's millennials, today's younger generation, even the my age generation, we expect everything instantly. Mm-hmm. How important, and we have the social media and we have the blogging and we have the ability to have instant everything. How important are meetings and events to today's business owners? Because you asked me in an interview earlier about business owners and what they should do, what they shouldn't do. And the one thing I find is they're not doing events because they think, here's this tool, the internet, it solves everything. In today's instant everything, how important are having meetings and events? Because I know you say meetings make money.
Yeah, most people have their breakthroughs at events. That's just a fact. You absolutely have to have events. Just because you have technology, just because the internet exists and it's awesome, use it to its full capacity, but its full capacity isn't going to replace the physical meetings, the events, the feeling that people get when they're in a stadium full of people or when they're in a small group of 50 people that are hearing from an influential leader. So events are absolutely mandatory, and there's a lot of companies doing this right. Companies that are doing 3 to 4 quarterly meetings, doing regionals, doing super Saturdays, doing the webinars. That's obviously digital, but yeah, it's not, in my opinion, it's not enough. If you want to grow a thriving business, a thriving network marketing company, it's not enough to do conference calls, webinars, and everything virtual and have a great Facebook group. Yes, you need all those things, and you should have all those things, but you really gotta. A lot of people, they still don't believe it's real until they look you in the eye. They don't believe it's real until they see someone walk across stage and they're sitting in the stadium, hearing the music and feeling the energy of the crowd, right? And they shake your hand. Most people don't feel it's real until they witness that sort of thing. So you need to learn doing those events, getting as many people there as possible. It's something that's mandatory if you want a large business.
Great answer. Again, if you guys like what you're hearing, please, repost it, share it. Here's another question for you. I deal with SMB, the small to medium-sized business. I've got clients who are doing $5-10 million a year, but I'm dealing with the small startup companies.
Sure.
And most of those companies are dealing with, as I said, the 250 million people out there are not involved in network marketing, and they don't know about network marketing. What type of blueprint should owners be giving to new distributors for day one, week one, month one, year one, the kind of stuff that's going to help them succeed and manage their expectations? Because I think we're in an industry where sometimes expectations are mismanaged. So what can a distributor or an owner give distributors as blueprints?
Yeah, so I'll give you a couple answers. One is, I guess, a little selfish, but we created a home business fast start CD that actually many of the owners that you've introduced us to are now carrying in their back office. In that home business fast start CD, I don't assume they know the deal with network marketing. I assume they don't.
Right.
And I give them warnings. I tell them what to look out for. I tell them what's going to happen. I tell them what it takes. And it's just a little CD that we suggest people listen to over and over and over. It tells them some basic how to approach people, which there's way too many assumptions made in network marketing. People assume that when you sign up, you know what to say, you know how to approach people, you know that people are going to reject you. You don't. You don't know any of those things.
Right.
You're like, and I remember, there's been a lot of people along the years that have reached out to me and they're like, Ray, I just joined and someone, they told me no and they said that it was a scam. I'm so confused, right? They need to know that kind of stuff is going to happen, because there are so many people that would be big earners, that would be influential leaders in network marketing that aren't, because they get blown out of the water right away. They get blown out by that rejection by their best friend or their family member. They need a heads up that is possible. It may even be probable, and that if they want to accomplish their dreams, the real reasons they joined the company, then they're going to have some rejection. They need to know those things. So we put that all together in a little fast start CD, but those are the elements that a company really needs to teach it. So having a fast start training or CD or something of that nature is critical. You want to get that information to them before they experience something that they didn't plan on.
Exactly.
And that's our big suggestion.
Cool.
Yeah.
Last question.
Sure.
Again, going back to you just retired after 5 or 6 years, so now you've got a coaching company.
Yeah.
And I think it's phenomenal, because I think you're going to be a phenomenal service to this
thanks.
industry with what you and Jess do. And I see the tide raising.
Yeah.
And as Todd says, as the tide raises, all boats float.
Sure.
Imagine for a minute that you're out consulting with a new startup company. Company wants to start a multi-level marketing company. Based upon your experience with the companies you're successful in, the friends that you have in the industry, what's the one thing that you would tell that new company to focus on the most, and what's the one thing you tell them to just keep in the back and not even put out there? What's the one thing that's not important? So the most important and the most not important for launching a new network marketing company.
Most not important. That's I might have to think about that a little bit. I would say most important is culture, which encompasses a lot of things. Culture encompasses, how do you edify people? How do you train people? How do they locate answers to their questions? How do they teach to teach? how do they bring people into the organization and plug them into the systems? So culture encompasses all of those different things. So I would say culture is the most important. As far as what's most not important, you know, I hesitate to say it, but I think a lot of people, at least how I've been approached over the years, a lot of people focus on how on marketing the fact. Okay, I'm very careful with my words here. Marketing the fact of how lucrative your comp plan is.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that doesn't mean that I'm saying the comp plan is not important. I'm not saying that. But marketing the fact of how lucrative your comp plan is. Okay. That's a big mistake in my opinion. If you're doing that, then what you're doing is you're marketing to mercenaries. You're marketing to whoever the highest, whoever wants to, focus in on the biggest, making money sort of thing, which is rarely the person that actually makes money in network marketing. And a lot of times I'll talk to people and they'll say, well, I'm in this company and it's got an amazing comp plan. They're not making money. And if their culture was different, they wouldn't be leading with that. You should be leading with your vision, your culture. How do you raise up people? How do you breed leaders? What is your leader breeding ground, right? Mm-hmm. How are you raising people from I don't know what I'm doing to now I'm competent to now I'm leading others? Culture most important. Marketing the fact that your comp plan is amazing, I would say least important. Doesn't mean the comp plan is least important, but marketing the fact that we have a 90% payout or whatever, most of the times it's baloney anyway, that's a wrong focus of new companies.
I like what you use the word culture.
Yeah.
For years, when people talk about joining a network marketing company, people say, oh, it's a pyramid scheme, oh, it's a scam,
Sure.
Oh, it's a cult.
Yeah.
And when I teach, when I meet with clients, I say, what I love about the word cult is the first 4 letters in the word culture.
Yeah.
And culture is a driving force.
Yeah.
So I love the fact that you're using the word culture, and I haven't heard you use that in a lot of the other things you've done. So I really love that word. I think that's a great word. Ray Higdon, I want to thank you for raising the tide, for meeting with me, and again, for speaking to our audience. And again, if you got value, please share this. Let others know.
Awesome.
Thanks,
man.